nightlife, live music, and bars. So those are the scenes. I do know Sotaria is going to be playing locally here and sometime next week, and she can talk to you guys about that when she comes on the show. So what else can I tell you about Tacoma? Oh, there's what?
If we're talking about some online pages and things too, I might as well give a little bit of a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Page on Facebook.
Yep.
And go check that out if you like. And I'll put that on hold because I think our guest is here.
She is here. She just arrived. Oh my gosh.
Dun, 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 dun.
So Sotaria?
Yes.
Yes! Getting in the chat crowd goes wild.
Yay! Welcome. You're already live on the air.
Am I?
On the
live.
spot.
Yes. Do you want me to take a break to get you guys ready, or are you just ready to go to jump into it? Because you're jumping into it now, but we can take a break.
No, I'm good. Let's jump into it.
All right. My kind of girl. All right, so I'm so excited. I'm so jazzed that you're here because you're the very first Tacoma, Washington musician to come on the show. I was telling guys earlier that I've been pushing it back because I was waiting to get into my own apartment. So I invite musicians to my apartment to have a live chit-chat thing, but I can't do it. I can't do it because Tacoma is so awesome, and I've been bragging about Tacoma, so I had to bring someone on here, and you are perfect because you are an amazing musician.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to relive the story real quick because I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was going through Arlene Ave, right? And I was going towards to O'Malley's stage, and I saw you, and it's like, I listened to your warm-up stage, like, oh my god, you're amazing. So I tried to record your session on my phone, where the app is played at. I've got all the other bands, but I did not get yours. It's like, oh my god, these people on here need to hear your voice, because you're a freaking amazing performer, and you just floor me, and also, hope you don't mind, that you're one sexy woman.
Oh, thank you very much. Hey, you gotta call it as you see it, you know?
Absolutely. So you're the first Tacoma, Washington musician, and I'm so happy and excited that you're here. So there you go.
I'm happy to be here.
Yay! All right, so let's get to it. So, when was the first time you knew you were going to be a singer?
Shoot, that's hard. When was the first time I knew I was going to be a singer? I think I always just started, I started singing as a hobby because I was in theater, like, my growing up throughout school, because I always wanted to be an actress. Ever since I could talk and walk, that's what I wanted to do. I was like, I know it. I'm going to be an actress. But then we used to have this game called Hotspot, and you had to go in, and when you heard a certain word that had, like, you had a song, and you had to come in and jump into the song with, like, a new song that was, like, relevant with the word. Mm-hmm. And I would start singing in front of people, and it just felt so good. But I only would sing in front of strangers, but I would never sing in front of my mom. So I was singing in the shower one day, and my mom about busted down the door because she heard me sing, and she was like, we're going to get singing lessons. So that's when I knew it was, like, for real. I was like, okay.
And who's your big inspiration?
I think when I first started singing, my biggest inspiration was Adele, I know. Because she was, like, the first female artist that came out during my generation that had, like, a lower timbre. And because all these girls that are very popular right now, they have a very, like, higher pitched voice, and, like, I just couldn't do that, you know, so I didn't think of it as even a possibility. And then I heard Adele, and I was like, oh, shoot. This is actually, like, this is a thing. I can actually do this, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty awesome. Spider, have you anything to add?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. As much as a lot of the big pop landscape is kind of dominated by these really high not necessarily like piercing voices, but just really high-end voices. There's a definite niche going on right now for the more smoky, kind of more husky, not husky like in like a weight kind of way, but just the way that the vocal cords are. And there's a big kind of not really underground scene for that, but it's kind of just a little more mild, but it's there, and it's really gaining a lot of popularity, and that's kind of my preferred area of female pop music. Honestly, I like more the depth, because vocals like that can surprise you. Like they'll hit real low, the real kind of deep notes, but then they can really hit those high notes when they want to.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think, like, with Alabama Shakes coming out, like, oh, man, she's just,
Very nice.
kills me. She really just kills me. Every time I hear her sing, I'm like, oh, my gosh, if I could open for her one day, oh, man, I'd be so excited. But definitely, like, in the underground scene, like, more real instrumentation is actually coming up, too, to be more popular. It's a little mixed with, like, some electronic noises and sounds like that, but it's like more of a raw, just like in your face type of sound. That's definitely underground and coming to the forefront.
Oh, for sure. It's a good landscape for pop to be kind of moving into. It highlights both ends of the spectrum.
Oh yes, I'm excited. And like I got like a little window. I need to jump through that thing because I'm a part of the niche now.
That's right.
Part of that niche. Oh yeah. All right, so I don't even know what else to ask you. I'm so excited that you're here.
She's speechless. She's stunned.
I am, and it's very rare for me to be speechless. All right, so the topic is a little bit of Tacoma Music Scene, because I've been bragging how awesome Tacoma happens to be, so I haven't really got the chance to really show people or have people hear it. So from musician point of view, how awesome is Tacoma Music Scene?
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Honestly, it's really hard to explain. Like, so when I lived in Vegas for most of my life, and I just turned 21 in March, so I didn't really get anything that you could possibly do, even open mics down there. You had to be like 21, and I was like, what the heck? This is like, I just want to sing, you guys. And when I came out here, I did my first, was just about like 2 years ago. And the support out here, the love, the just how honest people are, like, because you will always be accepted out here, and that's what I absolutely love the most. And everyone is they're just amazing. Anything that they do, they're going to help you, and then they're also amazing musicians. Oh my gosh, the music out here, and like, I really think it stems from the schooling too, because when I used to go to school, like, a lot of our arts were cut. Like, theater, when I was getting out of school, was about to be cut out of my schooling too. So like, out here, I see all these little kids with their trumpets and guitars, and like, I'm just like so in love that like music is so pure out here, and is like, people really appreciate it as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's like thousands and millions and music festivals galore all through the year, and you can pick one, then turn around and there's another one.
Yep, most definitely.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, I don't know if Nirvana from Seattle kind of made it explode, and it is kind of getting bigger, or what, but it's just completely amazing.
It really is.
For example, Spider, if you guys decide to come out here for a moment, your music that you sing will be top notch here in Tacoma and Seattle. I'm letting you know.
Well, see, out here in Ohio, it's a very traditional music landscape, and when I say that, I mean, I don't necessarily mean that it's all just one particular type of music, but it's all very regimented. You've got metal,
right?
You've got hip hop, and you've got country music, and then you've got classic rock. And that it's pretty much the four areas that music stays. It never deviates from that for very long.
Wow.
And the only successful bands are usually in that area. And even with that being said, the most successful bands are cover bands. You don't often get original bands ever getting as much hype and exposure as a cover band will out here. And so it's really difficult kind of to break into the scene, so to speak. And so it's always awesome to hear other local areas that have a really thriving scene like that, because it shows that it's not like a national kind of depression kind of thing as far as music goes. It's obviously just a Ohio localized kind of thing, which is actually kind of inspiring, because it means that eventually there's going to be some hope that new music may eventually get here.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just like, yeah, Tacoma. So, yeah, so when I started this podcast, everyone was doing a podcast for local music, Tacoma, and all this stuff. Well, that's been done so many times throughout the Pacific Northwest. And so I want to help other bands from different countries, different states to come here to Tacoma and join the music scenery if they're coming on tour. And that's why we're doing this podcast, because of that. Because Tacoma is so freaking awesome and amazing. I can't go further than that. Because there's a few music places I actually go to. Are the Ave. I never miss it ever. Folk Life. I go to that one in Seattle. That's on Labor Day weekend.
Been to that.
You haven't?
No.
Oh my God.
I need to go. I know.
You do need to go. Folk Life is like one of my favorite ones. Every now and then I have to miss it for a gig. I'm also a performer myself, so every now and then I have to miss it. But when I do get to go, I'm there like all 3 weekends. I mean, all 3 days through the whole weekend, and it's amazing. And you can go out there. You don't even have to play on stage. You can actually go and brisk out there. I think I was pronouncing it right.
Busk.
See? Go out there and you will just be, everyone will be floored. I mean, one of my friends who I had on the show last week, Robert from Rogue's Inn, I'm always seeing him out there, even though he's in a really great band called Rogue's Inn. He's out there doing that. It's just like, you can just do it. Yeah, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay, what else? There's also music in Wrights Park. That music. Yep. And then what else is there? There's a lot of different festivals. I can't think of any other festival I can think of off the top of my head, but those are 3 that I can think of.
I guess kind of like the Taste of Tacoma and the Bite of Seattle. They always get
Bumbershoot.
Like almost. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to regroup. But before we do, let's go into one of your songs right now. It's called Gone for Good. So tell us about that song.
Oh my gosh, this song. So I wrote this song because I was kind of like in a relationship where, it was like, you were together, you weren't together, you were together, you weren't together. Everyone's had one of those.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And finally, I just was like, you know what? I'm gone for good. Like, I remember when I was in my room crying because I'm dramatic. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gone for good. And then I was like, holy crap. That is a song idea. Yep.
Yes.
And I just wrote a song about it. And I was like, boom, there it is.
All right. And here it is. Gone for Good. Sotaria.